While idly scrolling through a live stream, a title caught my eye. Dr. Boyfriend's Private Desensitization Room. The man in the video wore a fitted shirt, with animal ear clips on his head, blindfolded and tied to a chair. Only half of his face was visible, blurred. Yet I recognized him instantly. That was my perfectionist husband, Sean. The female streamer pressed herself against him, kissing him, and I saw the fine red marks appear on his exposed skin, his obsessive cleanliness flaring up. So that's what desensitization therapy really meant. I immediately called him. No answer. By the 28th call, the man on the live stream apologized to the viewers, then disappeared from the frame. Baby, what's wrong? We've got 2 urgent surgeries tonight. Can't come home. Be good at home, okay? My phone buzzed, and I glanced down to see a transfer of 13,140. I swiped away the payment screen, my hands trembling as I messaged out Chen at the hospital. The reply was fast. Sean didn't have any urgent surgeries today. My heart plummeted into an icy pit. The live stream man reappeared, and the chat exploded. Haha, the streamer really doesn't hold back showing us a treasure like this. Is the doctor oct? Is this a kissing desensitization? Dare to make it even more intense? The woman's laugh was syrupy and sweet. He's oct. But he said no one else can touch him, so I can do whatever I want. The chat went wild. The idea of a male lead who only lets the heroine touch him so satisfying. A low chuckle escaped the man, laced with helpless affection. My chest felt like it had been stabbed with something sharp. Sean had severe oct and hated being touched. He once gently kissed my fingertip. Annie, I'm willing to fight my instincts for you. And now, he was enduring it willingly for someone else, offering her the only promise reserved for her, since everyone's excited. Let's make it even more thrilling. The woman held up a finely crafted gold necklace, her tone playful. Sean made this necklace himself. It took him a full 2 weeks to finish. Where should I wear it? The chat went even crazier. I stared blankly at the screen, tears blurring my vision. Over the years, I had asked Sean 37 times to do a simple craft with me, just to mark a memory together. His answer had never changed. Annie, I'm a doctor. Really busy. I don't have time for this. And now, he had spent 2 weeks handcrafting a necklace for someone else. The camera shifted downward, lingering on his Adam's apple. The top 2 buttons of his white shirt undone, revealing the red marks. A stifled, pleasurable moan followed. The gold necklace wrapped around his neck, the woman tugging it tight, kissing his throat relentlessly. He was forced to lift his head, breathing heavily. The chat went berserk. A viewer noticed something. Isn't that gold chain from the True Love brand? The woman's smile grew sweeter. Good eye. It's True Love, Sean said. I'm the only one worthy of it. Oh my god. This brand only makes 1 piece per person for life, and the couple must propose on the spot. Truly true love. Sean is so romantic. I clutched the faded necklace around my neck and almost vomited. I ripped it off. Tiny beads scattered across the floor. It was the first necklace Sean had given me when we started dating. Not even sterling silver, just cheap street jewelry. Back then, he was a poor student, holding my hand and promising, Annie, once I have money, I'll buy you the most expensive necklace. He had bought it, but not for me. His heavy breaths grew deeper, tinged with endurance. Suddenly, the woman gasped, then her sound was cut off. The live stream went dark. My pale face reflected on the black screen. Sean didn't return until near dawn. He saw me curled up on the sofa and, as usual, tapped my nose lightly. Baby, why didn't you sleep? It was our special way of being intimate, affectionate while minimizing his oct triggers. His expression was calm, everything seemed normal. But I knew everything had changed. I caught a glimpse of the kiss marks at his collar. Why are there red spots on your neck? A flicker of unease crossed Sean's eyes, quickly hidden. He tugged at his collar, maybe triggered my oct. Touched a patient during surgery, a faint, high-end shampoo scent lingered at his nose. My anxious heart died completely. He had showered. Under what circumstances would a man stay out all night and still shower? My chest ached. Torn apart. Sean, why do you smell like that? I shoved him desperately. It's disgusting. Sean panicked for a moment, then forced calm. The ward has so many patients every day. A mix of scents is normal. Why are you making such a big deal? Was I overreacting or was he guilty? He looked uneasy under my gaze. I'm exhausted from overtime. Stop doubting me. The door slammed. Water running in the bathroom. I collapsed on the sofa, curling up. How did it come to this? The man who once couldn't bear to say a harsh word to me now had no patience at all. That night, I cried all the tears I had never shed. The next day, the woman live streamed again. She wore a sexy nightdress, marks visible on her body. A nurse uniform lay on the bed, along with an unopened lace set. Hi everyone. Today Sean and I are going to play some little games. The streamer's body is insane. No wonder the doctor can't control himself. Even I can't handle it. Wait, the streamer's a nurse. Forbidden nurse uniform with lace? So intense. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold my phone. Over the 2 years of marriage, Sean often refused my physical needs. Annie, we're human, not beasts. We can't only think about that. Don't you feel that being like this all the time is reckless? And now, he was playing with another woman, indulging in thrill and pleasure. On the screen, the woman dressed provocatively, her curves making pulses race. A viewer worried, is it safe for the streamer to dress like that? Don't worry, darlings, the woman said, smiling happily. Sean said I can wear whatever I want. He's my protector, always keeping me safe. Plus, we leave work together, so I'm completely safe. See you next time, darlings. In the brief black screen between shots, a glimpse of men's underwear appeared. Tears blurred my vision completely. 8 years together, 2 years married, and I recognized it immediately. That was Sean's. I looked at my conservative long sleeves and pants, feeling like a joke. My figure had always been good. I had even been scouted as a model during college. Yet Sean constantly criticized my clothing as too revealing. After marriage, he only allowed me to wear loose pants and tops. Annie, going out like this isn't safe. Can't you listen to me? I had compromised, wrapping myself up like a cocoon. He had caged me in a greenhouse, yet willingly became another woman's knight, letting her bloom freely. I wiped my tears and zoomed in on the screenshot of the blue nurse uniform. Sure enough, it was the same hospital Sean worked at. It was time to see them. At the hospital, I headed straight to Sean's department. On the way, a young nurse nervously blocked me. Ms. Annie, what are you doing here? Sean's busy right now. Sit here. I'll go fetch him. I squinted, noticing the guilt in her eyes. Every other department had open doors, but Sean's office was tightly shut. Patients waiting to be called on the other side. I came to see my husband. Now even wives need permission to visit? I exuded authority. Step aside, this isn't good for you to interfere. The nurse trembled, unwilling to move, until Chris hurried over and greeted me. Ms. Annie, what are you doing here? Inside the office, Susan's clothes were undone, her face flushed. Sean held a small, specialized electrotherapy device, and every time he touched her, she trembled slightly. Doctor, Susan moaned in a coquettish voice. Sean's lips curled into a smile. Then he kissed her deeply. Bang. The door was slammed open. Chris led in several patients. Seeing the scene, they gasped and whispered, my God, are they messing around in the hospital? We're patients. Leaving us outside while you have fun inside will complain. Is that the head nurse? Could this be some kind of advancement scheme? Susan shrieked, fumbling to button her uniform. Sean barked sharply. Chris, who let you in? Get them out. What? Patients can't enter during work hours. I walked past them, my gaze cold as it swept over Susan, half-dressed, blue nurse uniform exactly like the live stream. It was her. Am I interrupting your little show? Annie? Sean's face flickered with panic. What are you doing here? I'm your legally wedded wife. Visiting my husband isn't normal? I sneered. I didn't expect to stumble into this little performance. The onlookers' chatter grew louder. Other staff gathered to watch. I didn't expect Sean to be like this. Married and still with Susan. Doing it right in the department? What do they think this is? Susan just got promoted to head nurse. Could it be that she advanced herself through? They whispered and pointed. Susan's face went pale. She started sobbing. Ms. Annie, Sean and I were only experimenting with a new treatment method. You're a housewife, you wouldn't understand. Electrotherapy isn't new. I only wanted to assist Sean in his research to help patients. Sean patted her hand tenderly, shooting me a disapproving glare. Annie, you understand nothing. Nurse Susan graduated from a top university, has progressive ideas, and dedicates herself to medicine. Yet you think so sordidly. Susan's shoulders shook with crying. It's okay, Dr. Sean. Ms. Annie doesn't understand. I forgive her, just hope she doesn't judge others out of ignorance. Suddenly, the crowd turned in their favor. Wow, so noble, dedicating herself to medicine. No wonder she's head nurse. Ms. Annie judged with a petty mind. I laughed inwardly. Nice cover story. But does research really need sexy lingerie? Is this electrotherapy research or making babies? Susan's summer-style uniform with black lace was still revealing. Even with the buttons fastened, her expression changed instantly. Enough. Sean scolded me. Annie, Did you come to the hospital just to cause trouble? I countered. Is it me causing trouble, or are you hiding something? Sean faltered. Stop, Ms. Annie. It's all my fault. Please leave Sean alone. Susan screamed, covering her face, and ran out. Susan. Sean shouted, angry, turning toward me. Annie, if anything happens to her, I'll never forgive you. He chased after her, leaving me standing alone. Fingers dug into my palms. Ridiculous. The man who once held my hand and promised he'd never let go abandoned me without hesitation. Back home, Susan went live again. I clicked in on the screen. She was half-dressed, clutching a small, lifeless dog, sobbing so violently she could barely breathe. Darlings, what should I do? The chat immediately filled with concern. What happened? Why is there a dead dog in her arms? Oh my God, it looks like it was abused. Who could do such a thing? That's just cruel. Susan shivered violently as she cried. I was doing research with the doctor today, and his ex-wife suddenly stormed in with a bunch of people, yelling at me. She sobbed. I didn't expect her to be so unforgiving. She even harmed my dog. The chat exploded. Furious comments and outrage flooded the screen. No wonder it's the ex-wife poisonous enough to harm an animal. People like that aren't even human. A glint of satisfaction flashed in Susan's tear-streaked eyes as she continued to cry, clutching her stomach, revealing the bruises across her body. Sean's ex humiliated me. I struggled. And they kicked me hard. Before leaving, they forced me to swallow an entire bottle of sleeping pills. The door was locked. I can't do anything. Where's the doctor? Sean will come save me, right? The viewers' numbers kept climbing, everyone eagerly waiting for Sean. Susan, are you okay? And he came. The door burst open. Sean stormed into the frame, scooping the sobbing, trembling Susan into his arms. Susan, what happened? Don't scare me. I'll take you to the hospital right now. Susan buried her face in his chest, wailing. Doctor, she killed my pet and humiliated me. Sean's face turned stone cold, fury radiating from him. I can't believe she's this vicious. 10 years of emotions, and he judged me so easily. I watched the anxiety and concern etched across his face. My gaze fell on Susan's tears smudged on Sean's shirt. It was like an ice pick stabbing through my heart. Even the obsessive Sean could abandon his sense of propriety for someone he loved. Yet before, even when I was injured in a car accident, he had resisted changing my bandages. Susan's lips twitched subtly. Sean didn't notice, hugging her even tighter. Don't be afraid. You have me. I'll make sure that cruel woman pays. The chat went wild. Tears, praise, and curses flooded the screen. I'm crying. Dr. Sean is so manly. This is true love. That evil ex-wife. Die already. Stop hurting good people. I watched the screen, that tragic couple in each other's arms, and the flood of curses aimed at me. My heart froze. What we had been real love. What I feel now is real indifference. I closed the live stream, picked up my phone, and dialed a number. Immediately, suspend all equipment and funding for projects Sean is responsible for. Also, have Chris and the team come back. Because of Sean's obsessive cleanliness, after college he had persuaded me to stay home and take care of him, but that didn't mean I hadn't done anything. Sean would never suspect that over 70% of the core equipment and funding for his prized projects were provided by me behind the scenes. The key technical team, including Chris, stayed only because of me. Without me, he was nothing, and now, he didn't deserve any of it. Time passed, each second heavy. I slumped on the sofa, exhausted, until the doorbell rang. The moment I opened the door, a hand clamped over my mouth, a pungent stench filled my nose, and darkness swallowed my consciousness. When I woke, I was tied up in an abandoned warehouse. Dim lights revealed a few figures looming over me. Leading them was Sean. Seeing me open my eyes, he ripped the tape from my mouth. Sean, what are you doing? I struggled. Are you insane? His expression was cold. Annie, I didn't expect you to be so malicious, killing Susan's pet, drugging and humiliating her. I'm going to make you feel the same pain. I froze. For her. You're tying me up. Sean, we've been together 10 years. This is how you treat me. Sean frowned impatiently. Annie, our past doesn't give you the right to hurt Susan. Before I could reply, he lifted his leg and kicked me hard in the stomach. Pain ripped through my body, as if every organ shifted. I clutched my abdomen. Curling up, Sean looked down at me from above. Susan said you kicked her. Consider this payback. Something inside me shattered. Warm liquid ran uncontrollably between my legs. Blood. I groaned in pain. Sean froze for a moment, then shouted, Annie, what tricks are you playing now? This force shouldn't have caused internal bleeding. It's not me. I didn't. He really intended to hurt me. The body hurt. But my heart hurt even more. Tears streamed uncontrollably. I clutched Sean's pant leg desperately. I didn't do anything to Susan. Still denying it, he roughly grabbed my chin, forcing several white pills into my mouth. Taste this. This is what Susan suffered. Bitterness spread, nausea and dizziness following. I collapsed to the ground, writhing in agony. Sean stood, pulling a handkerchief from his pocket to wipe his hands, as if I were filth. He gestured to the burly men beside him. Teach her a lesson. Take some pictures so she remembers. Annie, since you humiliated Susan, you'll pay for this. The men smiled wickedly, stepping closer. No, stop. Sean, you can't. I tried to back away. One man yanked me forward, another tore at my clothes. The others lifted phones at me, blinding me with the screens. Get off me. Animals. Let me go. I struggled, but they slapped me repeatedly, and in front of me was no longer the man who once winced if my hand got a paper cut. Sean barely glanced at me before striding away, leaving only his back in my sight. At the building's entrance, a woman looped her arm around his and pressed a kiss to his cheek. I turned and it was Susan. Her eyes sparkled with triumph, her lips curling smugly. You lost. I collapsed onto the floor. The drugs and agonizing pain made me lose control of my bladder. I felt like a worm rotting in the mud. Compared to Susan, who was being tenderly attended by Sean, I was a disgrace. I had truly lost. In the war of love, I had been utterly defeated. Who would have thought that the man I loved for 10 years would inflict such cruelty on me for another woman? Susan looped her arm through Sean's and strutted away. My consciousness wavered, strength draining fast, just as I was about to give up, on the brink of total darkness. The warehouse door burst open. Annie, let go of my sister. Mom, my sister. Tears streamed down as my body gave out, plunging me into blackness. When I awoke again, the sharp scent of antiseptic filled my nostrils. Annie, you're awake. Thank God. Mom and my sister's tearful voices reached me. Mom, sis. My voice was hoarse and dry. Instinctively, I reached for my flat abdomen. The lingering pain brought a horrifying thought. My baby. My sister's tears spilled freely. Annie, you were pregnant. But the baby is gone, and because of the drug exposure and trauma, the doctors say you may never be able to have children again. Mom turned her face away, shoulders shaking violently, unable to speak. My heart felt like it was being squeezed by invisible hands, pain so sharp I could barely breathe. My child, the one I had longed for so desperately, gone before even seeing the world, killed by the man who should have loved us, and now I might never have a child again. I clenched the bedsheet, suffocating in anguish. Mom wiped her tears. How dare Sean? If we hadn't tracked your phone and rushed over, you. My sister was livid. 10 years. You spent 10 years with Sean, helping him for a decade. He was a broke student back then. You protected his pride, quietly funded his PhD, bought his project equipment, even recruited people to help with his research. Without you, he wouldn't be where he is today. And what does he do? Uses your money, your resources, supports his mistress, and leaves you like this. As she raged, the hospital room door was flung open. Sean stepped in, his voice icy. Annie, why is the director speaking up for you? He even used my position and research projects to force you to apologize. What trick are you playing now? He looked up, his gaze landing on my pale, tear-streaked face. A momentary pause, then a cold smirk. Playing the victim, are we? You almost got Susan killed. I merely disciplined you a little, and you rush into the hospital to garner sympathy. How calculating. It felt like my heart was being sliced to pieces, pain so sharp it became numbness. Sean, I whispered, voice barely audible but every ounce of strength I had put into it. I miscarried. The doctors say I may never have children again. The cold smirk froze on Sean's face, but only briefly, replaced immediately by rage. Miscarried? Annie, are you kidding me? You forget I'm infertile. He practically shouted. Or, did you cheat, and now you're blaming the miscarriage on me for this bastard child? You malicious woman. It's only fitting that you can't have kids. You bastard. My sister lunged at him, furious. But Mom held her back with all her strength. Mom trembled with rage, pointing at him. You beast. Even now, you smear Annie. Sean sneered. I looked at him, the man I loved for 10 years, to whom I had given everything. Now, he tore into me like a rabid dog, insulting me. Even our dead child. The last warmth in my heart extinguished completely. I closed my eyes, refusing to look at him. Sean, you're infertile. Yes, But I've been quietly helping you balance your health all these years. You could have had children by now. Sean's face turned pale. Impossible. Impossible. I looked at him, heart dead inside. He staggered toward my bedside on his knees, pierced by my gaze. Annie, I'm sorry. I truly didn't know you were pregnant. I didn't. Tears finally fell from Sean's eyes, but not from my suffering for the sudden loss of our child. He buried his face in his hands, shoulders convulsing. The child we've been waiting for. Those words unlocked all my memories. For this child, I endured bitter herbs, acupuncture across my body, traveled nationwide for remedies to nurture him. We picked out toys together, debated which formula was best, decorated the nursery with excitement. And now, for another woman, he had crushed every hope and effort we had invested. The pain was unbearable, sharp as knives. I screamed, does a single sorry bring my child back? Does I didn't know erase the suffering I endured? Sean begged, anguish in his voice. Annie, your body can recover. We can adopt a child later. I laughed through tears. Sean, there is no later for us. We're divorced. Annie, are we really going this far? I enunciated each word. If we don't divorce, then you cut ties with Susan. Sean opened his mouth. No words came out. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. This is a man. Even after his heart has turned, he wants his home life intact while frolicking outside. Perhaps the shy boy who once offered me flowers and whispered promises had long since died. After a minute of silence, Sean seemed to make up his mind and looked back at me. I agree to the divorce. But can we keep the matter of the child and the warehouse under wraps? His voice grew urgent. If this gets out, my career is over. Annie, for the sake of our past and the child, I'm willing to walk away with nothing. Just don't let anyone know about this. This was the man I had once loved. Even now, the first thing on his mind was his future, his reputation, the child's death. My suffering, they were nothing but bargaining chips. The pain reached a peak. And yet I laughed, a laugh uglier than crying. Fine, I said. I'll temporarily keep the child and warehouse matters private. Sign the divorce papers and get out. Relief washed over Sean's face. I looked at the signed papers. Without my financial support, without the resources and connections from my family, without the conveniences I had provided out of loyalty, Sean was nothing. How long could he even last at the hospital without me? The bodyguards dragged him out. Mom held me silently, tears streaming down her face. My sister, red-eyed, patted my back gently. Just let that bastard go. I leaned into Mom's embrace, a cold smile tugging at my lips. Let him go? I said, sis. Watching him fall from the top, losing everything bit by bit, isn't that far more satisfying than just killing him? After Sean walked away with nothing, life was far from easy. Without my financial backing and equipment support, the once flourishing project quickly faltered. To make matters worse, the core technical staff I had recruited all resigned within weeks. In just a short time, his once star team teetered on the brink of collapse, leaving hospital management furious. He called me countless times. I didn't answer a single one. I didn't expect him to actually try to confront me at the villa. Annie, you're really here? I thought I imagined it, he said. I stopped, looking at him coldly, saying nothing. He seemed to snap back to reality and tried to grab me. Annie, my project's failing. The funding and core team were all brought in by you. Please, help me. So he knew it was my doing? And yet, back then, he had acted as if everything was his right, enjoying it all while treating my contributions as nothing, and in the end, treating me like this. I shook off his hand and laughed scornfully. Sean, I have no obligation to fix your problems. This is all your own doing, Annie. What has happened to you? Sean frowned. I see. Are you scheming behind my back? With this expensive villa? Are you cozying up to a rich man to ruin me? I laughed bitterly. Sean, you see filth in everything. Fine. Go find your billionaire then. I'm telling you, your dismissal from the hospital is inevitable. Sean's face paled. He tried to stop me, but the bodyguard standing by blocked him solidly. I left without looking back. Almost that same evening, Susan started another live stream on camera. She looked exhausted, wearing a hospital gown, tears streaming down her face. Babies, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. As soon as she spoke, tears poured down. I know I shouldn't appear again, but I really have no other choice. The chat exploded with concern. Streamer, what's wrong? Why are you in a hospital gown? Did that evil ex-wife harass you again? Susan sobbed. The doctor's project was forced to stop. His ex-wife called me promiscuous and threatened to make me serve 99 homeless men. She covered her face, shoulders shaking violently. She said if I didn't comply, Sean would be ruined and never practice medicine again. What should I do? She played a recording. I recognized it instantly. It was a conversation between Sean and me, manipulated and altered with AI voice synthesis. The chat went wild. This is inhuman. Forcing someone into prostitution. A poisonous woman. How is this possible in a law-abiding society? Susan, I would never let you suffer for my sake. On screen, Sean burst in, his face and forehead bearing visible wounds. He held Susan tightly. I would never let you endure such humiliation for my sake. But, he winced, my project involves many patients' hopes. My career can go. But what about them? I stared at his wounded face and laughed in disbelief. That day, I only had the bodyguards send him away. They would never have actually harmed anyone without my command. So this was their plan all along. The chat went even more frenzied. That ex-wife is pure evil, willing to ruin so many for selfish reasons. Expose her. Reveal all the shameful deeds. Soon, my social media accounts and phone numbers were discovered. Private messages flooded with harassment and curses. The two accusations: forcing someone into prostitution and obstructing medical research. Destroying patients' hope made me the target of public outrage. Calls from mom and my sister to help were all politely refused. I let things escalate. Soon, even my address was exposed. Online hysteria grew. Who can afford a villa like that? Clearly she's hooked up with a rich man. Such a malicious woman. How does she even deserve to live? My phone buzzed with a message. Annie, the analysis results for your expedited file are ready. It was time. I released the original recording of that conversation, along with the full analysis report from a professional audio forensics expert. Sean would never have guessed I had recorded the conversation, and I had the means to hire top-tier forensic analysts to authenticate it. Slowly, the tide in the chat began to shift. Oh my God. The ex-wife released the evidence. These livestream clips were edited. This is slander. Wasting public resources to spread lies? You're looking at jail time. Susan's face drained of color, and Sean's expression turned pitch black. No, that's Annie fabricated it. She stammered, trying to defend herself, but by now, no one believed them. The livestream viewers increased exponentially, but they were there to scold them. Many even flocked to my account to leave apologetic messages. Panic set in, especially Susan, falling from a heavenly status to mud. Surrounded by curses and insults, she seemed on the verge of collapse. I coldly closed the live stream. They were simply reaping what they had sown. I thought it was over, until a few days later, a shocking headline exploded on the trending page. Pregnant nurse bystander recorded video went viral immediately. Susan sat in a hospital gown in the middle of a busy road. Annie, you killed my pet, threatened my family. Now you want to harm my unborn child. What do you want from me? You hooked up with a rich benefactor, spreading lies to slander me and Dr. Sean. I can't fight back. I'll prove our innocence with my life. The video rapidly stirred another wave of public outrage. Oh my God. 2 lives at stake. How cruel. Could those previous evidences be faked? No wonder someone was driven to attempt suicide. She'd rather die than let her name be tarnished. Greedy for mischief, they wouldn't stop. My phone rang relentlessly. Sean's calls flooded in. Annie, are you trying to kill Susan and my child? I swear, if anything happens to them, I won't let you live. I ignored him. Explaining to someone who only believes what they want to believe is futile. I got to work. Sean and Susan went as far as inciting patients and their families from his department to gather outside my house, holding signs, "Justice for Dr. Sean, peace for the hospital." Sean stood at the front, a mask of grief and fury on his face. Patients and family members. This woman has used dirty tricks to sabotage my research project. She is about to destroy the hope of every patient. Susan, weak and trembling, clung to him silently. I am one of the victims, and he killed my pet, threatened my family, and even tried to harm my unborn child. The crowd became emotional. Let Dr. Sean go. We need him. Come out and apologize. Give us an explanation. We just want to live. For your selfishness, you destroy everyone's hope. Isn't that cruel? I decisively stepped outside and turned on my live stream. Since you demand justice, I'll tell you the truth. Viewers drawn by the trending topic and the confrontation quickly flooded into my live stream. I played 3 videos. The first showed Sean and Susan in the consultation room using electrotherapy research methods. I noted the divorce date in the comments, comparing it with the video date. Susan's deception was undeniable. The second video showed Susan buying the pet dog on the day in question. 2 hours later, she live-streamed, crying about the pet's death. No one else entered the room during that time. The chat realized she had staged the entire act. The third video showed Susan purchasing a large quantity of sleeping pills. Anyone with basic sense could see she was setting herself up to frame someone else. The livestream exploded with a reversal. This is outrageous. Framing and false accusations. This woman is the most malicious of all. Sean spun around, eyes locking onto Susan. Susan, you lied to me? Susan panicked, stammering incoherently, no, it's Annie who fabricated it. It's all her doing. But Sean was no fool. He shoved her away violently. Bitch, if it weren't for the child, you and I are done. Susan fell to the ground. People around pointed at her, some even throwing objects in anger. She cowered, crying pitifully. Sean grabbed my hand, lips trembling. I'm sorry, Annie, I was deceived. I shrugged off his hand, continuing my counterstrike. Sean, do you really think Susan is that simple? Sean froze. What do you mean? I smiled. Do you know she privately colluded with several unscrupulous doctors, illegally selling banned drugs for profit? I paused. The evidence has already been handed over to the police. They should be on their way. Gasps filled the room. Selling banned drugs is a crime. Susan's face strained instantly. She screamed, "You're lying." I didn't. Her protests were hollow, and I cast a mocking glance at her belly. Sean, are you sure the child in her womb is yours? Do you need me to show the records of her with other men and calculate the timeline? Sean's breathing became heavy, his eyes bloodshot. He spun towards Susan, glaring at her. Is she telling the truth? How dare you cheat on me? He grabbed her hair and slapped her. Ah! Susan screamed. Collapsing to the ground, Sean seemed mad, ready to strike again, until bystanders forcibly restrained him. His chest heaving, he teetered on the edge of collapse. Suddenly, he seemed to realize something. Sean dropped to his knees in front of me, his voice hoarse. Annie, it's my fault. I misjudged people, but those patients are innocent. They're waiting for my project to save their lives. Are you really willing to destroy their hope for your own personal grudge? One by one, the other patients began kneeling as well. Annie, we need Sean's medicine to survive. Please, spare him and let the project continue. A classic moral trap. He had mastered this tactic perfectly. I spoke coldly. Sean, your project affects countless patients' treatments. I won't let our personal grievances make them the victims. The crowd outside and viewers online quieted slightly, though some were still skeptical. Nice words, but will she actually let him go? Exactly. She's just using this to control Sean and the hospital. A trace of arrogance flickered across Sean's face. He seemed to think I would eventually yield, worried about the greater good, letting him regain the adoration he once enjoyed as Dr. Sean. I refuse to play his game. Saving the patients does not mean saving you. I will take over the follow-up treatment for every patient in this project, ensuring their care continues unharmed. The project leader must be replaced. Sean, your future is over. How dare you? Sean's voice suddenly shot up. This project is my lifeblood. Only I understand the core data. You know nothing. Without me, the patients will fail anyway. I'll tell you why. My mother rushed in. She walked beside me, radiating authority. Because I am the chairwoman of Z Pharmaceuticals, the country's largest pharmaceutical group. We have the best experts and resources. Then my sister's voice rang out. Forgot to introduce myself. I am a specially appointed researcher at the National Research Institute. Sean, those core algorithms in your project are based on my papers, the technical backbone of your project. All my teams I sent to help. Do you really think you could achieve all this alone? Sean looked like he had been struck by lightning. He glanced at my mother, then my sister, and finally at me, lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. I stared at him, each word cutting deep. Sean, from your PhD tuition to every piece of equipment in your project, every penny of funding, every key technical breakthrough, everything was supported by me behind the scenes. The reason you reached this point wasn't because you were that talented, it was because I loved you. And now, my voice turned icy. I don't love you anymore. Sean completely broke down. He fell to the ground, begging repeatedly, Annie, it's my fault, please. For the sake of our years together, forgive me this once. The wail of sirens pierced the air as Susan was swiftly arrested by the police. I didn't respond. I no longer looked at Sean, sprawled on the ground like rotting mud. Taking my mother and sister's arms, I turned and walked away. Sunlight bathed us, painting a golden halo around our figures. Behind us, Sean wept inconsolably. What awaited him was ruin and disgrace. Ahead of us lay my future, vast, bright, and truly mine. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comment section.